A few years ago, I had an experience that really challenged my perspective on community. My husband went on a mission trip to India for 5 weeks. It was towards the end of winter, which meant the wood stove became my responsibility. Our house is heated by a wood burning stove, so every 6 hours or so, I would go outside and throw a couple logs on the fire. But during the day, if the temperature was mild enough, it was that time of year, I could let the fire actually go out and the house would stay warm for several hours. But I noticed that once the sun would start to go down and it would get dark, that fire had better be blazing hot because the temperatures would drop so quickly that the house would actually start to freeze. So what I didn't realize was how hard it is to restart a fire in the stove once it's gone completely cold. Our wood had just enough moisture in it to make it really challenging to get going. And I would stand out there for an hour, fire starter after fire starter, blowing on the coals until I was lightheaded, rearranging the wood, thinking I just need one small flame to get this fire going and blazing. And it was just so frustrating. So after doing that a handful of times, I actually realized something that seems so obvious now, but it's actually easier to maintain a fire for days on end than it actually is to restart it once it's gone completely cold. And then it clicked with me. People are the same way. It's one setback after another. After another, that fire starts burning lower and lower, and eventually life gets very dark. And you find yourself trying to restart that flame, trying to get it blazing when you need it the most. And it's so hard. And even with plenty of wood and every fire starter that Menards had in stock that I bought out multiple times, that fire will not burn without oxygen. It needed air. And it finally clicked with me that the steady stream of support is like the oxygen that God gives us for community. We have come to this place where we don't want to bother people. We can handle things on our own. We're super independent. But from the very beginning of time, God said it wasn't good for men to be alone. Not because we're weak, but because we're human. And every single one of us is going to go through a season where our fire burns very low. Who is going to be around you when yours does? Who are the people fanning your flame? I heard this story years ago about this little mouse who discovers a mouse trap that has been set in the farmer's house. Terrified, he runs as fast as he can to the other animals to get help. And the chicken said, I am so sorry. I love you, but that trap isn't for me. And the pig said, I'll pray for you, but there's really nothing I can do. That trap isn't for me. The cow said the same thing. It's not their problem. Until one night, a venomous snake got caught in the trap. The farmer's wife didn't see it, and the snake bit her. She becomes deathly sick, so they have to butcher the chicken to make chicken noodle soup. She gets worse. More family and friends come, and so the pig is slaughtered to feed everybody. Eventually, the woman dies. The funeral is held, and the cow is butchered to provide food for all of the guests. The trap was never just the mouse's problem. What affected one eventually affected them all. And isn't that exactly how community works? We tell ourselves, as long as my family is okay, my bills are paid, my kids are healthy, life is good. But that's not how community works. When one family loses their home, our community feels that. When addiction destroys one life, our community feels it. When a child grows up without stability, our schools feel it, our churches feel it, our employers feel it, our neighborhoods feel it. But the same is true for the other side of this coin. When someone gets back on their feet, when a dad gets sober, his children get a father back. When a mom finds stability, children finally sleep through the night. When someone learns to budget, they're no longer choosing between rent and groceries. When someone discovers their worth, they begin helping all the people around them. We don't just carry each other's pain and burdens. We get to celebrate each other's victories. And that is exactly why I love what we get to do at Turning Point so much. People ask me, what exactly do you do at Turning Point? Do people live there? And the easy answer is that we provide transitional housing for people who need it. But community is what changes lives. We help people find jobs. We teach financial literacy. We provide case management. But none of those things matter if people still feel like they're doing it alone. The greatest thing that I believe we offer is belonging. I have watched complete strangers become family. I have watched residents celebrate another resident for getting a job like it was their own victory. And I've watched someone arrive here completely hopeless, only to become the very person encouraging the next resident 6 months later. I have watched hope become contagious through our home. And that is what community does. It keeps each other's fires burning. People interested in investing in this ministry ask, where does the money donated to Turning Point actually go? It pays for the lights that stay on so a child has a safe place to sleep. It pays for the water bill so that someone who maybe slept in their car last week can finally take a hot shower. It pays for beds to sleep in, mattresses, utilities, workbooks, background checks, maintenance. It pays for the staff who answers the phone when someone calls and has nowhere else to go. So every shower, every meal, every counseling appointment, every Bible study, every class, every single interview that we drive somebody to, every child who sleeps in a warm bed, somebody made that possible. I just want people to start looking at their neighbors differently. That is the hope for these videos. My hope is just to bring education and awareness and to show people that homelessness has a face. Poverty has a name. Addiction has children. And every single person who walks through our doors has immeasurable worth. I have had people reach out asking how they can help. So first of all, thank you. Truly. You can give financially through our website. You can also mail a check, or my favorite is when people stop by and hand deliver checks. That way I get to see you and thank you personally. But we also accept in-kind donations, and our biggest needs are consumable items. So when we have 15 to 20 people living under one roof. So things like paper towels, laundry detergent, dish soap, hygiene items, trash bags, food. We go through these things very quickly. And giving isn't the only way to help. Pray for us. Share these stories. Tell people about what we're doing, because awareness changes hearts, and a changed heart changes the community. I think that that's the biggest lesson that God was teaching me standing beside that wood stove. I was not just keeping a fire alive. I was protecting my home from the cold. And that's what community does. Every time you encourage someone, every time that you check on a friend, every time you mentor a teenager, which can be scary and hard, but so worth it. Every time you donate, every time you choose to believe that someone is worth another chance, you're throwing another log on someone else's fire. And one day it might be your fire that needs tending to, because there are no those people when we're talking about this. There are only our people. There are our neighbors, our coworkers, our veterans, our single moms, our teenagers, our children, our community. And when one person's fire goes out, eventually we all feel the cold. But when we choose to keep each other's fires burning, the whole community gets warmer.